Hi, today I'm going to try to enlighten you about how stun works and how people can stop misplaying heavily against them and losing completely winnable situations. Hopefully this helps you in some way, shape, or form. Alright, so I have some replays here. This is one of them. You will see another replay shortly. The basic gist of stun is, well, you summon your bodies that have effects, don't special summon, don't activate monster effects. You have your cards that give you more cards. You have your Solemn Judgments that protect your, don't special summon, don't activate effects. Then you have some board breakers. You didn't see this in the deck list earlier, but again, this can just be a Raigeki. The cards themselves don't exactly matter. It can change. You can run Inspector Border, you can run whatever else. Like, you can run a Lightning Storm if you want. This was just being run because it was Pearly format at the time, also Cashtira format. So, the main gist of this is, if you're going first, you know what to do. Normal summon your Dyna, look for cards, see how you can protect this card at all costs, and just play the game. Going second, a lot of people say that this deck can't win going second. You just scoop. So we're gonna contest that myth, which will hopefully let you know that, hey, I'm playing against stun. I can't just meatball all of my interruption. I have to actually think about what I'm doing. Because stun can be very easily. Most of the time going second, you just give it up. You don't have the stuff. But you can attempt to break boards. We're just gonna let the opponent combo here while I talk more about what stun can do and what stun can't do. What stun can't do is you don't have a lot of Ash Fade, this and that. You don't run hand traps for the most part. You can run 3 Maxi, and you can run Shifter too. It conflicts with Time Tearing Morganite though, which is another card that I'll be showing later. But the main gist of it is that you want to try to prevent your opponent from doing the things they want to do. And with an end board, it usually has a lot of things they want to do. Like if there's one of those punk cards that says on your opponent's turn, Synchro Summon, if you normal a Dyna, they can't use that effect anymore. If this has an effect like, when this is destroyed, special summon a card, if you normal Dyna, they can't do that anymore. Beyond that though, obviously you run a lot of traps. And traps don't do anything on this one. But what traps can do is if you have, like a flex, say a skill drain, say there could be anyone. If you can deal with their Omni negates and their spell negates, you can just set that and then activate it on turn 3 and use that to kind of whittle down their end. There are ways, but obviously if you're playing against someone who's mildly competent, most of the time you're just dead. And as you can see, our opponent is they're putting cards on the board. Most decks, including this one, look at this kind of an end board. If you resolve Tomahawk, it's just like, how the hell am I gonna beat this? And honestly, the reality is that we're probably not gonna beat this. But sometimes, sometimes you can try some things. You can bait interaction, you can do some other stuff. Some stun players play with triple tactics cards. I don't think they're very good. You can play it. You have to run some board breakers, like this, Raigeki, Harpies, because it comes up a lot. So we're gonna draw. We draw a useless card. So right now, all we have is a Dyna and a Herald. And I guess we have another normal summon, but unfortunately, in this game of Yu-Gi-Oh!, you can only normal summon once. So, I mean, we have the draw power, but there's a lot of cards on this field. So, let's kind of establish it. There's a Protos that can't be destroyed by card effects. Thankfully, the effect of Protos is that we can't special summon monsters with the Dark attribute. We don't run Dark cards in this deck, which is another perk of this kind of a deck. A lot of the things that you do like when they activate Max C in their hand after setting up this kind of a board, like you don't care. We do not care. We do not care about this card. This card does nothing against us. We don't care about this card. This card does nothing against us. This card... It's good to know what exactly cards do. This can banish a special summon and can banish a trap that gets activated. We do play 2 continuous traps. There is Clockwork Knight, and then there is Decisive Battle Golgonda. This could banish one of those, so that is significant, but for this kind of a setup we have right now, that's not the case. The card that was set was, it destroys something, I believe. Yeah, the Counter Trap, which is an Omni Negate. Omni Activation Negate, specifically. And it only works when they control a Yangzing. And it negates and shuffles, then destroys the Yangzing. So here's the only Yangzing. He set this up so he could destroy it. And, you know, we have to kind of establish what the board is exactly. So this is a spell banish. We don't care about the other effect. This is a vanilla. This is a vanilla that can't be destroyed by card effects. This is an Omni Negate that can only be used once. This is a card that enables this Counter Trap. And this is, well, this one's an actual vanilla. This card is an unknown, and this is the Counter Trap. So when you look at this kind of a board, you might think, oh no, we can't beat this at all. But then you realize, this is just an Omni Negate, and an Omni Negate, and everything else doesn't matter. Because we have ways of, you know, dealing with them on the next turn. Obviously, this is a problem, because this not being able to be destroyed by card effects conflicts with Dogmatica punishment. But, you know, we have a Herald of the Abyss. We can make an attempt. You know, we can use Pot of Duality, look for something, and then try to get rid of some of these cards. Does it work out in the end? Maybe. You know, maybe. Because a lot of people tend to really misplay into stun, because they don't know what they're doing. So in most cases, we don't beat this board. But the first thing we have to do is this Omni Negate is reliant on this card being on the field. And this has a specific thing that when this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, so in the graveyard, you can special summon a Yangzing. So that is a card, that is an effect that it has. But if we have Dion on the field, that can't activate. So the first thing we do here, because we're not OTK anyway, we are, I don't know if you don't want to call it a control deck, it's more of a brain turn off deck, but we're not lethaling through this. There's no universal lethal. So we can use our battle phase to get rid of that. And then see what Pot of Duality gives us, and I don't know, maybe you get like a card of Demise, you know? And then you Herald the Abyss, get rid of this. Card of Demise, and just try to play. There's not a whole lot you can do. So that's what we're gonna do here. We're gonna battle into that, and then right, I guess this is where the Counter Trap was. Our opponent, in a panic, decides to Book of Eclipse the entire field. I don't know what the last card in hand was. Well, I don't know now. Maybe I knew at the time. The Books of Eclipse the entire field. And, well, except for this. But I'm sitting there like, you know what? Sure. And I really don't know why you did this. Like, this is turned off either way now, because there's no Yangzing on the field. I guess he really wanted to protect that. Some people who know Dinah know where this is going, but, you know, we keep looking. We try to find something. I get a Book of Moon, which is okay. I set that, you know, and then, well, it's end phase. What does Book of Eclipse do in the end phase? Well, cards that your opponents control that were flipped down by this, or actually not even by this, just any face down cards, get flipped up. What does Dinah do as a mandatory effect when it's flipped up? Uh-oh. Oopsies. Instantly waste stun can win. No. But on a lot of cases when you're dealing up against these heavy end boards, you do have ways to try to play into it. But like most decks can't. But you can try. And sometimes trying works out. Remember, this was like a diamond game, I think. Anyway, on to the next one.